Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another cold cast. This is a random game I picked up off of drop.sc. It's Terran versus Protoss. In the top left, we've got Beer Crib Tiger. I don't know why your clan name would be Beer Crib. Oh, Beer Crew, maybe. Look at that. Me and the boys about to cannon rush someone. I hate toss, says our blue Terran player. In the southeast, he is Mac from Team Gosu. So easy to micro. All kind of AoE BS. Yeah, that's why you play Protoss, isn't it, Kipo? I do like when people, you kind of get into like what qualifies as a justifiable complaint about StarCraft. You know, at what point is something problematic versus I don't like it versus you need to calm down. You're being too loud, Taylor Swift style. You know what I mean? And the whole AoE thing, to me, that is like a justifiable, like, hey, you could probably, if you like that style, if you think that style is better, you could play Protoss. Now, as a Terran streamer, I'm often told, oh, you should just switch race if you don't like this, or if you think that's a problem. And usually I'd say none of it is, I still like the way that Terran plays. I like the way that Terran flows and controls. So most of my complaints are, you know, small percentage type stuff or things that just don't seem so much fair instead of not necessarily overpowered, but it's just like, wow, you know, I don't like that. Because I think it's totally okay to have complaints about some things, as long as you're not running around with your shirt off, screaming like a Banshee warrior that you're, you know, supposed to get everything handed to you on a silver platter. I digress. The Reaper is about to finish and should help push back the probe. I don't think the probe is going to be able to make it home. Max still has an SCV in his opponent's base. This game was Diamond League. Nathan always waits as long as possible to give you any details about the game itself, to keep you guessing. This build opening was pretty crisp, though. I was going to say, honestly, this could have been one of my openings versus Protoss. Maybe not with all the SCVs out on the map. We'll see. Yeah, so let's see if we can get some damage done. Folks asking, as this Adept pops out, gonna push the Reaper back. Now the key is don't let the Adept shoot the Reaper a second time. If the Reaper gets into one shot of an Adept shade, it's almost guaranteed that the Adept can then shade onto the Reaper and kill it. So you have to be very cautious about that. But people asking about where to submit replays. If you want, you could put like a name of a series. You could be like, oh, this is like a cheese game. This is like a will cheese fail type game, or like a when cheese fails type game. Please use the word will because it leaves up in the air. Or you could just be like regular old cold cast game. Put as little information as you want. You can submit them in the sub chat area of my Discord. That's discord.gg/Nathanias. Please join. And if you are subscribed to me on Twitch, you gain access to the sub chat. That is the first place I check for replays. I also have an email that I will check when I am truly desperate. NathaniasTV@gmail.com. You can send your replays there. Please put a teensy bit of information, but don't be like epic win versus Zerg, because you've then spoiled who wins the game. Don't say epic battlecruiser rush if it's not a TvT, because then I just assume that the Terran player wins with an epic battlecruiser rush. If the game is good or bad, we'll determine that. You don't need to tell us if it's good or bad. Just show up when the YouTube upload is done and see how much I roast you for your control. This is a pretty crisp build though, out of both players. I like what I'm seeing. So Mac with a couple Hellions to open up, and usually you see the starport with this proxied to give you the medevac to elevator. And I do think scouting Hellions on the map for Protoss, you get the wall off, which makes a lot of sense. Get the Robo up front, get Blink from the Twilight in the main. And that's one of the reasons why, if you watch a lot of professional StarCraft, it's pretty common for Terrans to proxy the starport, take these Hellions, elevator them up. But here's the problem. Medevac is there. 2 Hellions are still at home. These 2 are still here. I don't know why he didn't just... Yeah, this is going to come a lot later than it should have, honestly. But we'll see how much damage he can still do regardless. He built a Cyclone behind it, a Tech Lab starport. I'm assuming he wants to switch. He's got 2 reactored barracks. I don't think his game plan is to pump out mass naked Marines, but maybe it is. Let's find out. Starts the 3rd one. And here's the thing. We got the medevac. Does he know? He sends the Reaper up front, trying to poke a little. Medevac is on the way in. The Stalkers are on patrol. Blink is about to finish in 20 seconds. So, yeah, do you want to kill a probe? Do you want to kill a probe? Come on, let's kill some Protoss today. You never cheese me anymore. You're such a whore. Oh, well. Sorry, guys. That was the sensor kicking in. Raven coming out. I do like Ravens. I think Ravens are a bit tricky to use in bio builds because they're a little unwieldy. They take priority over Marines, so you can't just box your army or hit select all army and stim. You can't just do that, unfortunately, if you have a Raven in your army. So it does take a little bit more control. And not that that's a bad thing. It's just another variable that you need to consider. Sometimes it's better to try and remove certain numbers of units, right? If you're like, well, I got to siege my tanks, split my Marines, and stim them, put the Marauders up front. And then on top of that, you're like, I got to make sure that the Raven's using its energy with either the Dorito cannon or the interference matrix, or possibly just a good old auto turret harass. The observer in siege mode does see the medevac coming around the outside of the natural expansion. Colossus, first one, is done. Now, Thermal Lance isn't ready, and neither is +1. But, I mean, is he waiting? You know what's funny? He didn't even put anything here. Am I crazy? He's not even moving units over here. What are you looking at? Okay, now he warps? I actually think he could have yeeted the Hellions and maybe that was his plan, to just force him to warp in. Well, now those guys are on patrol and you'll never make it inside again, so. I think he sees the observer though, right? Is that why the Raven inside? Nope. No, that's not. Never mind. Okay, he has no idea. He's gonna come towards the front. Kill this one. Kill the observer. Kill it. Pew, 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 pew. Nice. There are some Stalkers. There's that Colossus. Charge is done. 1-1. Excuse me, +1 attack is ready. You know what's interesting about these types of army compositions? The Raven nerf. A lot of people were talking about this, and this has become a thing. You have Thrice says, Nate, no cheating. What's the in-game name of the observer siege mode? It is called surveillance mode. It is called surveillance mode, I believe, right? Observer mode, and then I need to look at an observer that's not sieged up in order to see the name of the other ability. I think it's surveillance mode. So this is what's tricky. Does he have enough energy to use 2 interference matrix? I think he's close, but he's not with the Raven anyway. Okay, well, are the tanks going to target fire down? I actually really like this fight with the Terran. Oh, what? He right-clicked, I think, a little awkwardly. Oh, no. Third Colossus is out. The Hellions are doing nothing. Dude, this fight, pretty poorly controlled, I have to say. Nate, without cheating, what is the capital of Wisconsin? What is Madison? I think I don't know. Oh, look at them! Line him up, Husky. How many did he kill? None. Oh, 6. He killed 6 probes. Well, yeah. Protoss player has 3 Colossi now. Oh, snap. And the Terran 3rd command center only just finished. No orbital. Meanwhile, Protoss is fully saturated on 3 bases. Good luck getting your 3rd, dog. You're about to get your world rocked. What's the capital of Illinois? I have no idea. It's never the big city. The big city of this state is never the capital. So it's not Chicago. What is the capital of Illinois? I got nothing. Boise? I don't know. Dude, the Terran player is super dead here, right? I'm pretty sure Mr. Tiger just moves in and he's good. No, yeah, I was going to say Boise's Idaho. And GG. Poor Mac, man. Poor Mac. I really feel like he had the army he needed to actually win the game there if he had used his energy at the start of the fight, if I can be perfectly honest with you guys. But there's actually some pretty improvable stuff there for him. And it hurts my heart to think that he might blame balance instead of... Really, I mean, I liked it. Like, there's just a couple of pretty easy things. Throw away the Hellions earlier, because Hellions are literally worthless in the late game versus Protoss. Hellions are only good the earlier the game is versus Protoss. And then instead of microing that medevac trying to get probe kills, split your army against the Colossi. Drop auto turrets. You don't even need to use interference matrix. I actually thought he had enough to kill everything, but